How's it going, guys? So today we got a different type of video for y'all here. I told you guys I was gonna get into the sneaker content type of thing. So today I'm gonna be doing a tier list of the Jordan models 1 through 35, and I'll go over the tier list categories in a minute here. And yeah, so as most of you guys may know, if you're a sneakerhead, you know there's 35 Jordan models. So 35, it didn't come out yet, but it's going to come out very soon. And then obviously there's 35 models before that. I'm not really super familiar with like 22 through 27, so if I get one of those wrong, I apologize beforehand, but everything else I know what it is and the story behind it and most of the colorways. So yeah. And again, that's another thing. I'm not going to be ranking these by colorway. I'm going to be ranking them by the model itself. And then I will have some videos down the road where I will be doing colorways of a certain model, like Jordan 3 colorways tier list, or something like that. And I'll obviously do other shoes too. It's not going to be just Jordans, but I thought this was a really good place to start because obviously the Jordan line is classic. I mean, 1 through 14 is probably the most classic line of sneakers ever. So yeah. But anyway, S tier is the best. And kind of just like will be my personal favorites that go up there, and then A tier will be just below that, like you know shoes that I do like a lot and I think have really good colorways, but just not quite my favorites, my personal favorites. And then B will be slightly above average, a shoe that I would maybe get if it had like a really sick colorway come out of it or something like that. And then C is just average, a model that I would probably not spend my own money on, but I would wear it if it was given to me or if I got like a really good deal on it or something. And then D tier would be something that I just would not wear at all and I would never buy. So that's kind of the tiers. Yeah, and that's kind of the basis of what's going on here. So let's start off with the classic Jordan 1 now. Obviously, there's so many good colorways of this, and you know, it's just a classic, man. I don't really think that it is quite a S tier, but I'm definitely going to put it in A tier because it's not one of my personal favorites. I do think it is an overrated shoe, but you can't deny that, like the band, which is the colorway that's shown right there, and then like the Chicago's and Royals, Shadows. I mean, there's so many just classic colorways, and then of course, the band right there was the shoe that they told Jordan he couldn't wear, but he kept wearing it and got fined, and eventually they banned it from the league. So that's why that colorway is called the Jordan 1 Band. And I mean, that's just a classic shoe, man. You can wear it with pretty much anything besides like basketball shorts. But yeah, it's gonna go A tier because it's just a very classic model, and there's some sick colorways too. And then second, we're gonna move on to the Jordan 2. I think I'm gonna lean more towards B tier on this one. That Just Dawn colorway that I'm showing right there is probably my favorite colorway of the Jordan 2 that's ever released. But there's not nearly as many colorways of the Jordan 2 as there was the Jordan 1, and it's definitely not really a shoe that's as beloved as the Jordan 1. But I do think it's a pretty solid model, and there's definitely some really good colorways like the Just Dawn. So I'm gonna go B tier with the Jordan 2. And then next is the Jordan 3. I'm going to go A tier with this one as well because it's not quite at that S level for me because I prefer some other similar models more than the Jordan 3. But you can't deny it, man. I mean, the Jordan 3 Fragment just dropped. That's a super dope shoe. The UNC colorway pictured there dropped earlier this year. There's the white cement, black cement. A lot of people, their favorite shoe of all time is a Jordan 3 black cement. Super classic shoe. Once again, it was the first one that was designed by Tinker Hatfield, who ended up doing a lot of these earlier models that are most well known. And it's not quite S tier for me, but it is a very dope shoe. And then next is the Jordan 4. This is going to be my first inclusion in S tier. I love this shoe, man. I did actually just order the Jordan 4 Unions, which is a pretty hyped up shoe, and those will be in soon. I'll be doing a review on those, which is one of my favorite shoes that's released all this year. I love the Cause 4s. I had the black pair. Bread 4s pictured there are a classic. There's just so many dope collabs with this shoe. The Undefeated 4, that was the first collab ever by Jordan brand with another brand, and it's just so classic, man. It's one of my favorites for sure, so that's why I'm putting it up in S tier. And then the Jordan 5. I'm gonna have to go B tier with this one too, man. I think it's an overrated shoe. Um, I'm not a fan of the lace lock that they put on the Jordan 5, which you can kind of see in that picture there. I do like that grape colorway. There's some sick colorways of the shoe. I like some of those premium colorways they dropped a couple years ago, like the red wine 5s or whatever you want to call them. They're just like all burgundy leather. I thought that pair was super dope. There's definitely some dope colorways of the Jordan 5, and I do like the Jordan 5 a lot, but it's not quite A or S because I don't know. There's just something about it that I don't like. I don't like the lace lock. I don't like that ankle cushioning thing that kind of puffs out on the shoe. I think that makes it, I don't know. There's certain things that I don't like about it, so that's why I'm putting it in B tier. Jordan 6. I'm going to move this one up into A tier. I know it's got that same ankle thing going on, and it's kind of hypocritical because this one has a lace lock deal as well, but I don't know. There's something about the 6 that I like a little bit more than the Jordan 5, and I really can't pinpoint it if I'm being honest with you, but there's a lot of really, really nice colorways of the Jordan 6, and it's just a really nice shoe in general, so I think it belongs in A tier for sure. And then coming in next is the Jordan 7 now. This one might get a little bit of hate, but this one's going down in D tier for me. I'm sorry, guys. I just do not like the Jordan 7. I don't know what it is about it. It looks like one of those like outlet type shoes. And I know it's a classic shoe, but they've made so many like stupid remakes that kind of look like the Jordan 7 that are like under $100. You see them in the outlet, and it just makes you not like the shoe. At least that's how it works for me personally. So there's definitely some good colorways, this and that, but it's always been a shoe that I've never really liked. And it's probably my least favorite out of the first 10 models, and I would probably never buy a pair of them for myself either. So thinking along those lines, I'm going to have to put it down in D tier. So I'm sorry for any of the fans of the Jordan 7. It is a very classic shoe, and if you like it, you do you, but it's just not for me, man. I don't really know why. Actually, yeah, I do know why. I already explained it, but it's just not really a shoe that I like very much. So that's why I'm going to have to put it in D tier. And coming up next is the Jordan 8. Let me find it here. And the Jordan 8 for me, oh gosh. I'm going to have to go A tier with this one too, man. It's not quite S because there's not nearly as many colorways that I like of it compared to the Jordan 4. But again, it's a really dope shoe, dude. And like, that colorway right there, the champagne colorway is what they call it, or the um championship trophy colorway. I've heard it called that before too. There's a confetti colorway that released with that pair that was dope. Um, I like the chrome Jordan 8. I think that's a sick pair. The aqua Jordan 8's obviously a classic. There's some sick colorways of this shoe, man, and I think it's a pretty good looking shoe too. I like the lacing system of it, how the two Velcro straps kind of go across each other, and it's a shoe that I like a lot, man. So I'm gonna have to put it in that A tier. And then coming up next is a Jordan 9. This one's gonna go B tier as well, and it would maybe be in the C tier if I hadn't bought a couple pairs personally. And it was also the shoe that I wore freshman year for basketball, so it'll kind of always hold a special place in my heart because of that. It was the Kobe PE colorway. If some of you guys know me personally that are watching this, that probably knew that I wore that shoe on court, and yeah, it's always gonna hold a special place in my heart because I've owned a couple pairs myself, and yeah, I really do like the Jordan 9. It's not quite A or S because I know that it's not as sick as the ones in A or S, but there's definitely some good colorways, and it's a shoe that personally it holds a place in my heart. So that's why I'm gonna have to put it in the B tier. And then coming up next is the Jordan 10. And this one, ooh man, this one's gonna have to go B tier too. I know there's nothing in C tier yet, but C tier will come. And yeah, the Jordan 10. There's definitely some dope colorways. I like that whole city pack they did like 4 or 5 years back with like the Shanghai pair and the LA pair, which is pictured there. I like the Charlotte pair as well. The Orlando pair. That city pack was dope, and I can't really remember them doing that with any other retros, so It's kind of exclusive to that, which is pretty sick. It's a pretty classic shoe. There's really nothing wrong with it at all. I do like it a lot, but it's just not quite as sick, in my opinion, as the shoes in A or S tier. So, again, that's why it's going to have to go B tier, because it is a little bit above average, but it's not, at the top tier. So that's the Jordan 10. And then the Jordan 11, this one might get some hate too. Don't worry, I'm not putting it in C or D, but it is going to go B tier. I know a lot of people would say this is an S tier shoe, but I think it is extremely overrated. I don't like the bread colorway. I know that's a lot of people's favorite shoe of all time, just like the Jordan 3 Black Cement is. But that's a colorway that I've never liked. I do like the Concord colorway, which is pictured there. Sorry, the picture is a little bit cut off, but yeah, it's a shoe that I do like a lot, but I do not think it is worth all the hype that surrounds it. And I don't think it deserves to have just one holiday release a year and everyone kind of goes crazy for it. And of course, I'll be going for the pair this year, the anniversary pair, but I don't know. I think it's just overhyped. So that's why I'm putting it in B tier. And yeah, that's the Jordan 11. So now the Jordan 12. Let me find it here. Where is the Jordan 12? Here it is. So this is my second inclusion in S tier, man. I love, and I mean I love the Jordan 12. It is, I might even like it more than the Jordan 4, man. It's one of my top 2 favorite models for sure. Or top 3, maybe there's another one I'm thinking of that I like a lot too, but Jordan 12, man, where do you even start? You got all those PSNY collabs, that maroon pair that released in the olive pair released in Italy. That pair was dope, and then I think the maroon pair released in like Paris a few years back. That pair is so sick, man. That's one of my like all-time grails. I'm kind of focusing on getting like only newer shoes that have released in like 2020 and stuff from now on, and like on from that. But I mean, there is just some really good colorways, and then obviously you got like the Flu Game 12s, such a classic. I think the University Gold 12s that released back in July were sick. I would kind of like to pick those up. Um, they're releasing like a dark Concord pair in November that looks dope. Um, there's just, I mean, I've never really seen a colorway that I extremely dislike of the Jordan 12, and I can't think of another model that's like that, man. It's just a really, really clean looking shoe, and I'm a huge fan of it, so that's why it's going S tier. And then next is going to be the Jordan 13. So, let me find the 13 here. This one's also going S, man. It is also going S. I don't like it quite as much as the 12 and the 4, but I really like it. And I know a lot of people think the shoe's ugly, but I really like it when they have that white leather upper with those dots, the perforations. I think it looks so clean. And then I even like the suede pair. I've owned the Bread 13s. That's the only 13 I've ever owned, but I like that pair a lot. I kind of wore them into the ground because I liked them so much. And yeah, man, that's for sure a classic. And it's definitely one of my favorites for sure. So it's gonna have to go in S tier, man. And then the Jordan 14. God, man, this is so tough for me. I don't know whether to put it in A or S, and I think I'm gonna have. Oh gosh, because this. If a lot of you guys know me and like I've talked sneakers with you guys before, this like at one time this was my favorite Jordan model ever, and it's still probably in my top 5. But I just don't know if it's A or S, man. I don't know if I like it as much as the shoes in S tier anymore. I really don't. So yeah, I'm gonna go A tier, man, just because of the sole fact of that. At this current time, I don't like it as much as the 13, the 12, or the 4. So it's gonna have to go in A tier. But again, man, it's a very dope shoe. Like that reverse Ferrari colorway right there, the black Ferrari, the original Ferrari, the Laney 4s, Jim Red 4s that just released are sick. Or 14s, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm saying 4s, but yeah, the 14, man, it's a sick shoe, dude. I really, really like it a lot, so it's almost an S tier. You could almost move it to the top of A tier, which is I think what I'm going to do, because it's my favorite shoe in A tier. And yeah, Jordan 14, super sick shoe, top A tier. And now we're on the Jordan 15. This one's going in C tier because I don't think it's quite D tier level. There is a couple colorways that I do like and I would probably wear. So it's not quite in D tier level. It is kind of a sort of ugly shoe, but I like the obsidian colorway, and I also like this Dornbecker colorway that's pictured. You know, a lot of people don't like that tongue, but I kind of like the story behind it, how it's supposed to mimic how Jordan sticks his tongue out when he shoots a fadeaway or just shoots a shot in general. And I think that's really dope. So kind of that fact in itself, and because there is a couple colorways that have released in the past that I do like, that's what's keeping it off D tier for now. And that is the Jordan 15. And now the Jordan 16. This one's going B tier. It's not quite A or S because again, this is kind of a shoe that's not the most aesthetically pleasing, but it's kind of a case again of that there's like 4 or 5 colorways that have released in the past that I just still want so bad. Like let me think of an example here. That bread colorway right there, I'm not a big fan of, but they've released like the CEO pair a couple years ago, which was like a teal and black pair that was super dope. And then like the Art Basel colorway, which was like teal pink and then like mostly white. I really like that colorway a lot too. That was a Soulfly collab. And there's just some sick colorways of the shoe. So I'm not gonna put it in C or D because there's some colorways that I definitely would probably buy if I could. So that's why it's going in B tier. And then the Jordan 17. Let me find the picture here. Where is the Jordan 17? Here it is. The Jordan 17 is also going in C tier. I don't think it's quite D tier because I don't think it's an ugly shoe, but this is kind of the first shoe that we've seen so far that does lack in colorways. There's not very many colorways of the Jordan 17 that I like a lot, but it is an aesthetically pleasing shoe. So that's kind of what's keeping it off D tier. Whereas the Jordan 15, what keeps it off D tier is the inspiration behind it and the colorways, but the Jordan 17 is off D tier because of the actual model itself, and I think it looks dope. I think they need to do a lot more with it. They should release more colorways, and there's a lot more they could do with the shoe that they haven't done. So that's what's keeping it off D tier for me. That is a Jordan 17, and the Jordan 18 is next. I'm gonna put this one in B tier because I do like the Jordan 18, and I like that bread colorway that's displayed. I like the Hyper Royal colorway. They released a pack like a year or two ago that had a blue suede pair, a tan suede pair, and a yellow suede pair. I like all those. So yeah, it's just a little bit above average. That's why it's coming in at B tier. And then the Jordan 19. This is going straight into D tier, man. That shoe is so ugly. I think we can kind of just move on. That's the worst one so far. So I'm just going to move on right off that because I hate that shoe. And the Jordan 20, this one's going in C tier. Another model that just, it looks sick, but there's like no colorways. The colorway picture there is a stealth, and then the only other colorway I can think off the top of my head is a pair that's like exactly like that, but just white. And again, if they release more colorways of the shoe, it could be dope, but they just haven't. So that's why it's going in C tier for me. Even though I do kind of like the model, and I like how there's that heel strap that's separated from the main shoe. I think that's kind of dope. But I do think they need to do a lot more with it because it is a shoe that does have potential, but the potential just hasn't been shown yet. If that makes sense. So yeah, that is the Jordan 20. And then the Jordan 21. Whew. Which one is it? I believe it's this one here. Hold on. Jordan 21, yeah. This one's going for me. C or B, C or B. I'm going B tier with this one because this is one of the shoes in the 20s that could be my favorite. When you get past the 21, I think all of them are pretty ugly, and then you get onto the 30 and the 31, which I think are dope, and then since then they've been pretty dope. But Jordan 21, that bread colorway picture there is dope. I've seen some other pretty dope colorways of it, so I'm just going to give it the benefit of the doubt and put it at B tier, a little bit above average. Even though I know there's not a lot of colorways, I think it's a lot doper than the 17 or the 20. So that's why it's going B tier, the Jordan 21. And then the Jordan 22. I believe it's this one right here. Yeah, I think it's this one right here. So the Jordan 22. C tier. It's not ugly enough to put it in D tier, but there's just not many really. Again, there's not many good colorways that I've seen. That colorway that I've pictured there is probably my favorite with Jordan actually on the shoe. That's pretty dope, but again, there's just not very many colorways of the shoe. We haven't seen the full potential of it, so it's going in average C tier. That's the Jordan 22. And the Jordan 23, this one's going A tier for me, man. I love the Jordan 23. I think there's some sick colorways. I like the, there's this black and red, like, finale pair that's going for way too much money, but it's a really dope colorway. I like that Marlins colorway that I've pictured there. The trophy room colorways are dope. Yeah. It's a dope shoe, so I'm gonna have to put it in A tier. It's not quite S, but it's a dope shoe, and I like it a lot. So I think A tier is definitely justified. And then the Jordan 24, which I believe is this one right here. We are gonna put this one in C tier as well, because it's I haven't really seen very many colorways of the shoe. I haven't seen anyone wearing the shoe, but I kind of like that diamond on the side. I don't mind that shoe that's pictured there. I'd probably wear it if I got it like given to me, or if I got a really good deal on it again. So I think it belongs in C tier, man. It's not quite that D tier level because it's not necessarily an ugly shoe. We just haven't seen many colorways of it. So yeah, that's the Jordan 24. Jordan 25 straight in D tier. That actually no, I think that's the worst. I was gonna say Jordan 19 is the worst so far, but that Jordan 25, man, that is an ugly, ugly shoe. What were they thinking, making that translucent hole on the side? I have no idea. I don't know. Someone really just did not think thoroughly when they were producing this shoe. I don't know why Jordan even approved it. And she was so ugly. And then the Jordan 26. This picture's kind of cut off too, so you can't see the whole shoe, but this one's going D tier too, man. I'm just not the biggest fan. There's not very many good colorways again. It could be better than the 19 and the 25. I don't think it's quite on the level of the 7 though. The 7's kind of my outlier there in D tier just because it's a shoe that I've never liked. But yeah, the 26, I'm not the biggest fan, so that's going D tier, man. And then the Jordan 27, this one's going D tier as well. It just looks cheap. It's the only really way I can describe it. This is probably the cheapest looking shoe on, like, out of all the 35 models. It just looks like it's something that you'd find at the outlet for $30. The quality on it looks horrible, so that's why I'm putting it in D tier. And then next we have the Jordan 28. So it's this shoe right here. This one's going B tier too, man. There's some sick colorways of the shoe, and Ray Allen wore this shoe a lot too, so that kind of puts it higher on my list, I guess. So, and Russell Westbrook had a pretty sick colorway of this shoe too that said "Why not" on the side of it, and it's a pretty sick shoe. I wouldn't mind wearing it for hoops. I mean, that's kind of what you'd want to wear it for, is just on the court. I don't think it's one of the first shoes so far that we've seen that you just definitely would not want to wear as a style statement. It's more just an on-court shoe, but there's some dope colorways of it for sure. So it's not quite A or S, but it is above average, so that's why I'm putting it at B tier. And then the Jordan 29, I'm going to put this one at B tier as well, because I do like some of the colorways. I like that colorway pictured. I don't know what it's called, but I think it's dope that they have Jordans actually on the side in the Jumpman symbol. That's pretty sick. I like the hair colorway, with like all those diamonds, those wild diamonds. I had a pair of shorts a while back that matched that pair, and I think that is a super dope pair of the Jordan 29. So it's definitely not going in average, and it's not going in D tier. So, and then obviously it's not on the level of A or S, but B tier I think is a great place for the Jordan 29. And then the Jordan 30, man, I'm gonna have to put this one in B tier too, because I am a fan of the shoe. I am a fan of the shoe for sure. Again, it's not quite A or S, but it's above average, so I think B tier is where it belongs. There was that Cosmos colorway that was dope. I like the black cat Jordan 30. I like the platinum Jordan 30 that's pictured. And maybe that's the UNC Jordan 30. It's either the platinum or the UNC, but it's a sick shoe. I can remember when it released. This was when I first kind of started getting into sneakers, was around the 29 and 30. which was obviously about 6 years ago or so. So yeah, I do like the Jordan 30, so it's going in B. Jordan 31 up in A tier. Huge fan of the shoe. I love it. How when the 31 came out, they said that they were gonna start using inspiration of the older shoes, and you can clearly see it on this model. They definitely wanted this to be like a futuristic looking Jordan 1, and I think they did a bang up job, man. It's not quite S tier, but just because the Jordan 1, the original, is not S tier for me either, but it's basically just a revamped Jordan 1, and they made all the original Jordan 1 colorways out of it too, like the black toe is what you see there, and then they have the Chicago, the Hyper Royal. They did a really, even the shattered backboard they released in this shoe. So since it got the inspiration from the Jordan 1, and I think that that was a super good idea by Jordan Brand, and I think it's a dope looking shoe too. I would definitely wear it on court for sure. So that's why it's going in A tier for me. I'm a big fan of the Jordan 31. And then the Jordan 32. This one could potentially go in A tier, but I'm going to put it in B tier because I do like this shoe, but it's just not quite as sick as a Jordan 31 in my opinion. They released some dope colorways. I liked how they started. They did this with the 31 too. They would release like a pretty limited release of like a retro, like they did the Jordan 6 All Star, and then the 31 All Star was basically the same colorway. They did this with the 32 too when they released the Jordan 6 Gatorade. They did a 32 low Gatorade. Jordan 3 free throw line release, they did a 32 free throw line. I think that was dope how they did that, and I think they did a bang up job with the 32 as well. But I don't think it's quite as sick as the Jordan 31, so that's why I'm putting it at B tier. Kind of like how I don't think the Jordan 2 is quite as sick as the Jordan 1, but it's still an aesthetically pleasing shoe and a shoe that I definitely would wear. So, yeah. And then the Jordan 33, sorry to any fans of this shoe. I know a lot of people were wearing this at school and on the court and stuff, but it's going C tier. It's not quite D tier, but I think on this shoe they started to lose the inspiration deal. Like the 32, you can clearly tell was modeled after the Jordan 2, and you can clearly tell the 31 was modeled after the Jordan 1. But this one, I don't really see Jordan 3 in this. I mean, it's the Jordan 33. It should be modeled after the Jordan 3, but I just don't see it, man. It doesn't look like the Jordan 3. And just the fact that, that kind of makes me mad that they got off that inspiration type deal. There's not even like an airbag like the Jordan 3. And it's not a bad looking shoe, but just the fact that they kind of got off that train of the inspiration deal, I thought that was the best idea ever, and they kind of got off that wave. So that's why I'm putting in an average at C tier. And the Jordan 34. They kind of got a little bit back on track with this one. This one doesn't look quite like the Jordan 4 in my opinion. But this one's going A tier, man. There's some sick colorways of this shoe. And they did some sick player exclusives for players. Like I know Jason Tatum's wearing that taco player exclusive of that. He has like a purple pair, a pair that actually looks like a taco, and then like an orange pair. And they released some PEs. Like they released a couple Zion PEs. They released his Jason Tatum's Cheetah PE. They released a PE for Rui Hachimura. There's just some really, really nice colorways of the shoe, and I think they did a good job releasing them. I think they did a good job hyping them up, and I think it's a dope looking shoe. Again, I don't really see the inspiration behind the Jordan 4 on this one, but just because of the sole fact that I think it's a sick looking shoe, it's going in A tier. And the Jordan 35, last but definitely not least, because it's definitely not in D tier, but I'm going to put this one in B tier because we have not seen the full potential of the shoe at all, since it just kind of surfaced, and they haven't released many colorways of it. There's supposed to be a fragment colorway coming. There's going to be a bunch of other colorways coming as well. So I think the safe bet for this one is B tier because this is a shoe that has a lot of potential, and we're going to see how that potential works out because there's going to be many colorways throughout the next year. So I think B tier is a safe bet for that. Dope looking shoe, dope potential. Don't mess it up, Jordan Brand. I don't think they will, but it's a dope shoe. And yeah, I think that's really going to be about it. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm glad I kind of got this done. I've been wanting to start doing sneaker videos for a while now, and I've wanted to learn how to set up tier lists, and I kind of did that over the weekend and yesterday as well, so I'm glad that I did that. There'll be more other tier lists coming, and yeah, again, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It would mean a lot. And I will see you guys in the next video.